Shalom Aleichem and welcome to Machin Le'Ira Online Smicha. With the weather so beautiful and cozy, it usually becomes family time and people go out on an excursion, people go out on trips. One of the family favorites, especially for little kids, is to go to a zoo. And there's a discussion in general of going to a zoo is a preferable thing because most of the animals that you're going to see are non-kosher, but you could learn from everything in the world, especially Marabu Masecha Hashem. The question is only, what are there any special dinim connected? We know that there are brachas that you make for foods that you eat, brachas that you make when you pass certain locations. Are there any brachas or any dinim connected with the zoo? So it's actually a very fascinating discussion. In the Gemara in Brachas Daf Nun Ches Amud Beis, the Gemara says, if somebody haraya kaif, if somebody sees a monkey or a chimpanzee or a pill or an elephant, and then the Gemara gives a third animal, a third creature, and some say it's a vulture. So the Gemara says, if you see it, you make the bracha Baruch Mishana Abrias. Baruch Mishana Abrias, I mean, the translated loosely is blessed is the one that makes a various of creatures. He has different. There are standards one, we know what humans look like, and there are standard animals, and then there's various different types of creatures, different looking. So there's a big machlokes whether the Gemara specifically meant these three, or he uses these three as an example. Most of the Rishonim, and especially the Meiri, says that these three are these three creatures, these three animals is specifically the ones that you have to make a bracha for different reasons. One reason is because they look very, very different than the rest of the animals, and they look very, very similar to humans. So it arouses a bigger wow. And for that, you make the bracha Baruch Mishana Habrias. Others go as far as saying that it's traditionally, it's brought in different svarim that by the Doir HaMabel, that is during that time, the punishment was for many that they turned into kaifim, they turned into monkeys or chimpanzees, and elephant is unique because the elephant is supposed to be very, very smart, and he's very easy to train, very easy to understand what the humans do. So for them, there's a special bracha, Baruch Mishana Abrias. Either way, the Meiri holds that it applies specifically and only for these three animals. Others say, that Shlomo Zalman Auerbach, for example, in Halicha Shlema, he actually says that it applies to any wondrous animal, anything that wows you, you make the bracha. He just used this as an example. Now, all right, so we know now that you have to make a bracha when you see these animals. The question is, you go to a zoo, you see various animals, you see many animals, and at the same time you're going to see in the monkey cages, you're going to see monkeys, and you walk a little further, you'll see elephants. Is this a bracha that you make at every animal that you see, or you walk into the zoo, you say it once and that's it? How does that work? So in Shailas Teshuvas Devar Shmuel Siman Reish Chav Daled, he says if you walk into a zoo or if you see a monkey, you make a bracha, and of course if you go further on and you see a elephant, you'll make again the bracha. It's a separate thing. However, Reb Shlomo Zalman Auerbach says, no, you make one bracha, and that bracha will go on the whole tour of the zoo. Some say that this is basically connected between the previous machlokes. Does this only apply for these specific animals, or does it apply for all animals? Reb Shlomo Zalman Auerbach, because he paskins it applies to all animals, so then if you go to a zoo, every 2 minutes you should make a bracha? Every animal you'll be making it. So he says, do it once, and preferably try to do it on the ones that the Gemara specifies, the ones you make the bracha, and have kavanah the rest of the zoo. Others say, since it's only specifically for these three animals, every time you see one of these three animals, you make a bracha for itself. Now, there are there's another issue. The other issue is, how often do you make this bracha? Do you make the bracha every time you see a monkey? In other words, you went to the zoo Chol Hamoed Pesach, then you went to the zoo again in Chol Hamoed Sukkos, you make again the bracha. And that's because a lot of these Birchas Hariyah, you make the bracha if every time you pass 30 days, you didn't see that your friend or that animal or whatever it is, it arouses another interest, and it demands another bracha. Does this also apply here too? So again, here too, there's a machlokes haposkim. Some say you have to make the bracha every 30 days, and the biggest proof that you're excited about it again is, despite the fact you went to Chol Hamoed Pesach, you went again to Chol Hamoed Sukkah. So there's a new excitement. So it's like any other thing that you have to do every 30 days. However, others say you just say it once, the first time you see it, and it's actually brought in the Mishnah Berurah. you say the first time you see a monkey, you make the bracha. The first time you see a elephant, you make the bracha, and from there on, you're fine. And if you saw it once and you didn't make a bracha, so now you could only, according to the Mishnah Berurah, you should only say a bracha below Shema Malchus, the time that you see it now, because you should have said it the original time. Now, Bavadia Yosef says that you make a bracha on a monkey or an elephant every time you see it post 30 days, and you do it b'Shema Malchus.